I say happy New Year's Eve 2025, last day of the year, December 31st. Wow. Time to, well, what do we got? Time to wipe the slate clean, time to recenter, time to refocus. It's time for a brand new year. What are you guys doing tonight? Well, whatever it is, you got to be safe, got to stay warm. To all those revelers in Times Square, I heard the ball's dropping twice over there. Yeah, pretty cool, pretty cool. I remember back in the day, I used to go there. Well, today we're going to be talking all things movies and what it means to be a warrior. Or do you want to be a warrior? Let's see. We're talking about that, not in the physical sense of the warrior, but before I do that, let me do this throwback for all you baby boomers watching this. You remember the television show 1969 called Room 222? Yeah, I was just checking it out because the magic number 222. I said, I remember that. Lloyd Haynes, Denise Nicholas, Michael Constantine, Karen Valentine. Kind of reminds me of what the heck was going on in my book over here. This was a Boston Public of its day, right? About a Black history teacher. It ran for 5 seasons. It was all about the sign of the times, what was going on in the 60s there, all sorts of stuff, civil rights, great topic. So that was a pretty cool show. I remember watching that show, but we're going to be talking about all things movies today. That was a TV show. But how about this? Because this is very important, right? This is one thing. And we're going to talk a little bit about resolutions. Not much, though, because whatever it is you guys do, a lot of people say you got to be specific. Remember my 5 resolutions from last time? Eat better, sleep well, work out daily, read more, and slow down time, right? I'm kind of general, right? I worked out today. I'm going to get another one in later. It was kind of a slow one. I'm doing the 10-minute elliptical first. You guys know that's going really well, but I just wasn't into the full workout. So I did a half a workout going back later. But speaking of books, this is a number 707. You guys see this? 707. 707 million books were sold this year. Okay. That's 3 million shy of the record, which was in 2021, right? Most people are reading books now. That's an awesome thing. Aside from writing books, I love books. I just finished, what was the book I just finished reading? Where is it? Up there in my bookcase? Backlash by this guy named Brad Thor. Yeah, it was kind of cool. I read it. It was a quick read. Going to go get some more books today, but books are better for your brain. Guys, that's proven. That's science. You guys like the word science? So let me tell you, this is what they proved. Children with just one book at home are nearly twice as likely to meet literacy and numeracy standards as those without. Get that? What? Twice as likely to meet the standards. How about this? Um, Says beyond basic literacy, physical books foster crucial parent-child interactions that build social, emotional, and cognitive skills. No doubt. I mean, most of the schools I taught when I was a sub, you guys know, these parents aren't spending time reading books. These kids are too busy on their phones. Read a physical book. Hey, whether it's my book, the sub, you guys know, I wrote that book. Let me tell you, when I started the year, who knew, right? When you go back and you reflect on your year, when I started 2025, I was a full-time caretaker for my mom. So the last day my mom went outside was New Year's Day. I remember that last year. And it was just all downhill for there for the next 5 months. But so I was a caretaker in the first half of the year. Then I became an executor and a general contractor, getting the house ready to be sold. Sold it. Then I moved to Indianapolis. That was a big deal. I had to come here a few times. I had to go to Texas and get some things that were in storage. So it's a big move. Then I published a book. Pretty exciting stuff. The book was written, a year or so, 2 years before I published the book. And then I got Tola Talks back going. 32 episodes this year. So let me tell you, I feel like I'm very proud of the year that I had. Pretty excited about it. But again, reading books is crucial for children. Children growing up to access the books complete an average of 3 additional years of education compared to those without. Let me say that again. Children growing up with access to books complete an average of 3 additional years of education. It's proven, okay? People who read on screens score lower on comprehension tests than their peers reading the same text in print. Plus, you can go back. You can go back and read. You don't do that on screens. People read on screens score lower. Everybody knows that. So get your book get your books going, guys, because it's what it's about. Keeping those kids. It's about the children. All right, let's jump into this because there's a lot of good movies coming out in 2026. I'm going to do a movie review. I went to see Marty Supreme yesterday. I'll tell you about that. I'm going to give you two other movies that are given the A grade, changing the scoring, guys. I used to do the range numbers. Now I'm doing give it A, B, C, going back to like the teacher mode. So, hey, speaking of which, the two movies that I already reviewed, you guys know this from last time. Dust Bunny, I'm giving that a B minus. We did a range, and Housemaid, I'm giving a B. Told you, Housemaid, you love Sydney Sweeney, Amanda Seyfried, go see that. Dust Bunny's pretty cool, but that's a B minus to me. So let's talk about this because the movie's coming up. This is what I'm excited for. 2026 is going to be a great year for movies. I'm going to rattle off 25 movies. I'm going to go see at least 20 of these. But here's what's coming out. There's a new Spider-Man movie coming out. There's a new Supergirl, Girl of Steel, right? Millie Alcock. I can't wait to see her. Supergirl. That's pretty cool. There's a new Avengers, Doomsday, with Robert Downey Jr. is going to be a villain. No kidding. How about Toy Story 5? If you're into those animations. How about this? Christopher Nolan, he's amazing. He's coming out with The Odyssey. All right, that's going to be a real thriller. Well, that's going to be an interesting one too. But he's awesome. Scream 7. Let me just rattle these off. Scream 7. 28 years later with Ralph Fiennes. Well, let me get that right. Ray Fiennes. 28 years later with The Bride with Kristen Bale, Maggie Gyllenhaal, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Penelope Cruz. Oh, that's going to be good. You like horror films? Scream, 20 years later, The Bride. How about this? Devil Wears Prada 2. Wait, that's the one. Can't wait to see. Meryl Streep, Anne Hathaway, Emily Blunt, Stanley Tucci. Going to be awesome. And if you like Emily Blunt, she's in a new movie. It's coming out, Spielberg's movie, Disclosure Day. That's coming out in 2026. What else? This one I saw previews for, Zendaya and Robert Pattinson, the drama. It's a dark comedy about an engaged couple who's their wedding is let's put it this way, the relationship is maybe falling through the cracks. I don't know. That seems interesting. There's Dune Part 3. Never a huge Dune fan, but that's if you like Timothee Chalamet, which we're going to talk about. How about Flower Vale Street? Another Anne Hathaway movie with Ian McGregor about unusual happenings in the neighborhood. Hey, she's also in a movie called Mother Mary. I mean, I told you, Anne Hathaway is all over the place. It's a psychodrama with Michael Cera. Can't wait to see that. Focker-in-Law, if you love Ben Stiller, De Niro, Owen Wilson. The Hunger Games is coming out with a new one. Love Jennifer Lawrence in that, but I think it's a whole new crew here. How about this one, which is a Coen Brothers film, Jack of Spades. It's a gothic mystery film. That should be interesting. Jumanji 4. I love Jumanji. The Rock, Jack Black, Kevin Hart, Karen Gillan. Oh, man, and Nick Jonas is in there. How about this? The biopic of Michael Jackson, simply called Michael's, coming out. Right? These are other movies I'm definitely going to go see. It's called Send Help. Rachel McAdams, Dylan O'Brien. That looks like a scary movie. There's a new Resident Evil movie coming out. Oh, going to go see that. How about this? The Social Reckoning, follow up to The Social Network. And we're talking, that should be another good flick. How about this? Verity. Colleen Hoover. My mother loved Colleen Hoover, the novelist. Dakota Johnson, another Anne Hathaway. Josh Hart. I think she's in The Odyssey too. So Anne's all over the place, but Josh Hartnett, that's going to be a good one based on a book. And another based on a book, Wuthering Heights with Margot Robbie, Jacob Elordi. Wow. So there you go, guys. There's about 25 new films. And don't let me forget one of my favorite actors in Hollywood, Ryan Gosling's coming out with a sci-fi called Project Hail Mary. So I'm definitely going to go see that. So I think I rattled off about 25 or 26 names and good stuff, guys. Good stuff. So go to the movies next year. We got a big one coming up. But speaking of movies, let me talk about, before I get into the Marty Supreme, I want to talk about two movies that I give A scores to. A meaning anything with an A minus, A plus. That's a 5. I mean, rarely given those. I mean, The Godfather, Rocky, they're A pluses. But an A for me is a movie that I'm going to go see again. Some of the B category, yeah, maybe I'll watch it on the Paramount or Netflix or wherever it comes out. But for the most part, I love these A movies the most. So, all right, let's talk about this, because who wants to be a warrior? I mean, that's the key in life, right? And I watched this movie again. I don't know how many times I've watched it, but it was on the other day. I got watching it. You guys see this? Peaceful Warrior. I want to give a shout out to Dan Millman. He actually contacted me way back in the day. I don't know if you guys ever saw this. I made this yoga survival guide, did 30 lessons, 100 poses. There's my film in there, Boulevard Zen. But anyway, Dan Melman gave me a shout because I think in one of my videos I used the words peaceful warrior. And he's got a lock on that. But this is a great film. I mean, I give this is like an A minus if I had to grade it. The way it's the book Dan Millman wrote. He wrote that book 45 years ago in 1980 called Way of the Peaceful Warrior. It's about a young champion, a gymnast. It's him, Dan Millman, who struggles basically to make sense of his life. Even though he's successful, he's unfulfilled. Hey, sound familiar? Successful, but unfulfilled. So it's all about the inner journey, right? Let me tell you, Nick Nolte's in this film. Nick Nolte, I think, looks the best he's ever looked, well, aside from when he was in The Deep with Jacqueline Bisset a long time ago. But now Nick Nolte plays the Yoda, the Shaolin priest, whatever you want to call it. He does a great job. There's a chance encounter that this guy who Dan Millman has played, it's not him doing it. He actually makes a cameo in the movie, but it's about 2 hours long. I mean, it's a long film, but let me give you some quotes from the movie, because to me, it's all about not giving up on yourself, no matter what it is, right? Got to keep going. So here we go. This is all about basically the morals, or not morals, but the mindset of a warrior, right? And again, we're not talking about the go out there killing people kind of warrior. We're talking about the warrior every day in your life, positivity rules. All right. Be conscious of your choices and be responsible for your actions. Without a doubt. How many kids I taught, they're not responsible. Nobody wants to be accountable for their actions. Well, you need to be. Be conscious of your choices. And again, make good choices, everybody. You don't have to make bad choices, making good choices tonight, starting tonight. All right, here's another quote. There is no starting or stopping, there is only doing. So it's like these resolutions, right? You resolve to work out more. Well, just do it. Don't talk about it. It's not starting and stopping. And whatever happened yesterday, forget about it. That day's gone. Forget about that day. Focus on today. Today, if you did the 40-day challenge, you got 15 minutes to go to work out. That's like, you roll out of your bed, you could do that. Here we go. This one I don't like. If you don't get what you want, you suffer. If you get what you want, you also suffer, because you can't hold on to it forever. It's a human way. So don't worry about getting what you want. You're going to get what you need for sure, but you can't hold it onto it anyway. You got to let go. I mean, that's why I'm cleaning out the closets all the time. You got to let go of old. How about this? A warrior does what he loves and finds the love in what he does. That is so true. Love, find the love, find your passion. I talk about that so many times. And your passion can change. It doesn't have to stay exactly the same. But again, if you're doing something that is not your passion, do the best you can while you're doing it. Love it while you're doing it, but always be seeking what does it for you. I like this. There's three parts to the human experience. There's paradox. Life is a mystery. Don't try to figure it out. There's humor. You always have to laugh at yourself, and you have to kind of have a humorous approach to life. And number three is change. So you got paradox, humor, and change. Nothing stays the same. Never does, guys. Nothing stay. It's fleeting. I mean, Hey, even the body in the physical sense, it's fleeting. Look at Arnold Schwarzenegger in 1979 versus today. Well, what are you going to do? Age does that. But here we go. Here's another one. Journey. The journey is what brings happiness, not the destination. And now these are all things that were either spoken in the movie or given to Millman as from Nick Nolte as advice, right? And is he a real guy? Who knows? But the journey is what brings us happiness, not the destination. All right, here's another one. Get rid of all that bullshit you have up in your head about not being good enough. That's no doubt. No matter what it is, you do the best. You bring your authenticity to it, right? Forget about all that rolling around that you're not good enough. Keep moving forward. All right. Get rid of all the thinking. Here's another one. It says, if I get what I want, I get to be happy. Not true. If you get what you want, well, that's going to change. You're going to keep moving the bar, right? Forget about that. But I love this. These are 3 questions that he asks himself and constantly reinforcing. And this is something you could do. Where are you? Here. What time is it? Now. What are you? This moment. Again, where are you? I'm here. You're in the moment, in the present moment. What time is it? It's now. It's not a future, right? I talk about don't futurize. It's now. And what are you? You are this moment, right? In the physical being, in this moment, right? This is what I am. Love that movie, guys. Go see that movie, The Peaceful Warrior. You get that wherever. I mean, again, that's an A grade for me. I mean, maybe it's an A minus because we're not talking. I mean, Nick Nolte is the one who does a killer job there, but no doubt a movie you could see over and over again. Now, here's another movie. Let me hit that. This movie I watched again because to me, it's a solid A. This movie by Sofia Coppola, she's a writer, director, producer. This was made in 2003. Now, Peaceful War was made in 2006. That's a 20-year-old film. But this movie here, Lost in Translation, let me tell you something. Scarlett Johansson, she's 25. She plays a 25-year-old lonely young woman in Tokyo who, meets this fading movie star, Bill Murray. Bill Murray does a tremendous job with this role. Without a doubt, he's the middle-aged star who's unsatisfactory home life. And I want to read you something because this is what happened to me. I'm telling you, maybe I relate to this movie so much because I was in Hong Kong. Oof, we're going back 25 years ago, right? And let's put it this way. I fell in love in Hong Kong. But let me read you this. This is from my memoir, Simply Between Millions from Wall Street to Hollywood. Yeah, that was then, right? Now, what am I? This moment. Here, let me read you this. This is chapter, I love this chapter. Chapter 31 from Singapore with Love. I went to Singapore and Hong Kong, Singapore, Malaysia. So here we go. It said, of the 3 locales, Singapore was my favorite. I remember meeting this one gal at the American Club. I wasn't actually a member of this sanctuary from the hustle and bustle of life, but I started going there myself. Actually, I snuck in after my buddy Steve took me there once. She was beautiful, married, 20-something American gal who was extremely lonely. We became close and would meet for drinks at the luxurious Raffles Hotel. Oh, it's gorgeous. I was in Singapore for its grand reopening on September 16th after an extensive renovation I watched from my room across the street at the Carlton. As tempting as it was, we didn't sleep together, though we did find the comfort common to 2 strangers meeting in a strange land. We simply met at the hotel often because her husband traveled all the time. I still remember those super strong Singapore slings and our worldly late night conversations by the pool. And then she left. Unfortunately, we never stayed in touch. Well, I say fortunately we didn't stay in touch because we weren't meant to stay in touch. Again, you were 2 strangers who found comfort meeting in a strange land. That's kind of what it was, and I totally relate to what Bill Murray was going through with this beautiful young woman who was married in her 20s. She was 25. I think he was supposed to be 55, 30-year age gap. But let me tell you, you got to watch this movie. Every time it's just every scene, Coppola, what she does is she really just gets right in there. And the cinematography, it's not a lot of, pomp and circumstance to this film. It's in the moment, right? Look at how the actors relate to each other with their eyes. That's the key to that movie. Let me tell you, there's some amazing scenes. And Scarlett was young. She was 18 when she made that movie. Bill Murray, I think, was like around 52, 53. Yeah, they made that in 2003. And you get a really cool view of Tokyo since I'm planning a trip to Japan this year, without a doubt. So that's my A. Those are my two A's. Peaceful Warrior gets an A minus, and Lost in Translation gets an A. These are movies you could see again and again, without a doubt. All right, let's talk about this. Went to see this movie here, Marty Supreme. Let's talk about it. Anybody go see this? It's fun, without a doubt. Timothee Chalamet. First of all, if he's really playing ping pong or table tennis, that kid's amazing. I mean, he did the Bob Dylan film. I mean, this kid, without a doubt, Timothy's 30 years old. I will say this. There's only one negative I'm going to point out. I think he's too old for the role. I think the character, who's based on a real character, I think he's supposed to be like 20 years old or 21. I don't even know if he's supposed to be 21 years old, but Chalamet is almost too much energy of an older person. But hey, is it exciting? Yes, it is. Is it funny? Well, it's not really funny, but it's got a lot of these sort of like, laughable moments. It's heartfelt, not really. It's not really a heartfelt movie. It's neither happy nor sad. Is it triumphant? Yes and no. It's not like Chariots of Fire triumphant, but it does have some triumph to it, right? It's very entertaining, without a doubt. Tell you, it's a long movie. There was a point in time where I was like, yeah, when's this? Where are we going with this? Are we going to get going? All right. Again, where's it going? And then the ending, I'll tell you, a lot to be desired for me with the ending. Matter of fact, when I was walking out of the movie theater, the young lady that was sitting a few seats next to me, it's fun. It's interesting. Like I had a kind of vibe with her because we kind of looked at each other once or twice as if to say, where's all this going? So she says to me, did you like it? And I gave her one of my, I said, kind of. I said, I liked it, but I wasn't like blown away. She goes, no, me neither. She goes, what's up with the ending? And I said, I know. And she said to me, she goes like, is she going to just deal with that? And I'm not giving it away, but you'll know what she's talking about when she says, is she the girl who's who does a great job, by the way, who's this Odessa Azion is awesome as Rachel Meisler. Gwyneth Paltrow does a great job too. You want to go? You like Gwyneth? You're going to really like this. She's solid in this. But again, what's going on in the ending? I'm not really sure. But again, love the female co-stars. All right, love those. Would I watch it again? Definitely not in the theater. Maybe if it comes on Netflix or Paramount, wherever. Ping pong. Ping pong, it kind of makes it like off the charts. It kind of feels like you are in some Olympic sport in a way. The topic itself is, it's like okay, but I'll tell you what I like most about it: the score. Let me tell you, the music is excellent, outstanding, right? It's a mostly feel good movie. You kind of feel compassion, you feel empathy. Yeah, it doesn't knock you off your feet without a doubt. There's no sex scenes like with Sydney Sweeney over there in The Housemaid or going back to 9.5 Weeks. There is some romance. There's a pretty cool shower scene, I will say. Gwyneth, nothing too. This is like PG-13 sex scenes without a doubt. But you ask yourself, what happens next? Like, could there be a sequel? Definitely could be a sequel. I don't know why you would make a sequel, but And here's another thing. This is a period piece, takes place in the 50s, but it feels more like the 40s. I mean, I wasn't around in the 50s, but to me, it's almost like kind of goes back even further because the 50s to me was the prelude. I was born in the 60s, right? But I knew it. My father, my mother were kind of big in the 50s. Well, the clothes weren't so good, but I'll tell you what, my father's clothes and how he dressed was the 50s were a little sharper than what I saw. Does it win any awards? No. Does it break any records? No. Does it get people to start playing ping pong or table tennis? I don't think so. Maybe, but not likely. Not likely. So for my final grade, let me tell you, I was going to give it a B plus. This is a B, definitely a B. Is it a B plus? Well, like I said, there's some fun stuff. It's feel good. You laugh a bit. You're kind of feeling it, but it's a solid B. Again, leaning a little bit B plus, but that's all we're going to give it. We're giving it a B category. Again, anything in the B category, I'm not running out to watch it again, but hey guys, this is it for today. I wanted to get these movies in. You want to go see my movie? Go check out Skateboard Bandits. It's a 12-minute short film. That's a really good one. I got a couple of shorts out there, but do it. Do what you got to do for the new year. But again, when you set your sights, remember whatever occurred yesterday, that's over. It's only this moment, right? It's only this moment. Where are you? Here. What time is it? Now. What are you? This moment. All right, guys, have an awesome night tonight. Be cool, do what you got to do, but be smart, make good choices, be accountable for your choices. Don't do anything. Well, back in the day, we used to do a lot of stupid things, but enjoy it. It's going to be a great 2026. Looking forward to it, as you should be in your life. Guys, have an awesome day. We'll see you on Friday. And as always, get your workout in. Peace.